Marching Arts Education and Guard Closet present Marching Arts Now.
Hey everybody, welcome to Marching Arts Now. We're recording this live here on all over social media. This is Tim Hinton, the Beast of the Marching Arts. Thank you so much for watching. This is going to be really fun. With me today, Jeremy Williams from Guard Closet. Jeremy, how are you?
Good. How are you, Tim? Glad to be with you today.
I'm doing also. And our color guard specialist, guru extraordinaire, Paul Simondac. Paul, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me, Tim. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, so glad to be here. So everybody, we are going to be doing a weekly show over the winter where you will be doing these live events, and then also you'll see this live event as a produced event sent out at the end of each week. So we hope that you'll be watching. We're really excited about this. So first off, Jeremy, tell everybody who you are and what you do at Guard Closet.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I've met some of you all before. I am the owner of Guard Closet. I'm super excited to have Guard Closet. Guard Closet is an online consignment and new costumes, accessories website. So you could go there, you can sell your old costumes and make money, and then buy new stuff with it, because we do it all. We have customers all around the country. We have clients all around the country, and we have brand managers all around the country to help you. So super excited to be a part of this Marching Arts Education with Tim and doing this Marching Arts Now. It's my thrill of my life. I love this kind of stuff. So I'm just excited to be here.
Awesome. So Paul Simondac, you are a performer right now in the world of WGI as well as instructor. Well, you wear lots of hats. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Paul Simondac. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I went to East River High School, and I started color guard back in 2009. I marched Carolina Crown 2014, 15, and 16, and I switched to teaching since 2017. I came out of retirement and am currently marching with UCF Pegasus World. I marched in 2020, and I'm currently marching this 2022 season. So I'll be going to Dayton this year. So I'm super excited, and I'm so glad to be here with Tim and Jeremy and just talk about color guard this season. I mean, it's super exciting getting to be on the floor, but also witnessing everything happen around you as a performer. So I'm glad to be here.
We're excited to have you here because you give us all these perspectives, right? I mean, you've done everything in the activity. Of course, you have a big presence on Instagram. Many people will recognize you there as well. Where do people find you on Instagram, Paul?
You can find me at Paul Script, and people always ask me like, "Oh, is that your real last name?" No, it's actually Simondak, but Paul Script is just my handle on Instagram. So you can just find me there, follow me for videos, and I also am technically, this is a fun fact, a part of Postscript Independent Winter Guard. So that's my World Guard that I made last season. So
very cool. So do you want to say anything about the unusual situation you're in this year as a performer?
Yeah, so recently, I was super excited. I skipped the COVID season to start my new job in accounting, but I was like, let me just do one more year with UCF Pegasus World. And I was doing fine. I was having a lot of great reps. And then a week before premiere, I was doing full runs just as a practice for myself. And I think that night after I did a full run, like my stomach started feeling weird. And I found out, I go to the doctor, it's acute appendicitis. So they removed my appendix and I had to get surgery. So I've been recovering for the past 3 weeks. I will recover for another week, and then I'll be back on the floor with UCF Pegasus World. So you can catch me at Freedom High School if you're here in Orlando, Florida. And if anything, at the WGI Tampa Regional at Durant High School 2 weeks from now. So...
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So did you basically learned the show, had to put it on pause, and do you feel like it's still in your body? I know when I was a manager of a dance company for a long time, the dancers, it kind of sits in your body, right? And you could just kind of jump back in with very minimal. Do you feel like you're going to be able to do that? Or are you like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God?
I feel like I am. I mean, a lot of my going from summer to summer at Crown, it kind of feels like that. Like, oh, I have my skill set. I'm a veteran. I've been here before, and the show is fairly recent. I've only not practiced for a month, but I think I'll be okay. A lot of my show isn't too difficult, I would say. I can't use my apps. That's the main thing that I can't do. But getting those core muscles back and just getting my stamina back, right, after not doing anything for so long might be the hardest part. Because my show isn't that hard. I throw a few sevens, a few trick sixes, but most of it is it's classic.
Just a few. Just whenever I want to. It's just that's fine.
So yeah, I think I'll be okay.
All right. Well, we wish we could all be so casual about throwing the 7.
I know, I
So,
know.
I'm very impressed with you. If you're watching this right now, everybody live, thank you so much for watching. Please comment. Tell us where you're watching. If you have questions for any of us, especially for Paul, our color guard guru, please let us have those questions. We have some interesting pre-recorded bits here. We're going to talk about pre-show. What is it?
Pre-show rituals.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm see, all of Paul knew exactly. Like, you say the word and everyone's like, I have this, I do this, I cha-cha-cha that, I cha-cha-cha this. Yeah, we actually, is that not something that band people do? Do you not have pre-show rituals?
I think, I think people in the world of band have some stuff like that, but it seems very elaborate in the world of Winter Guard. So I want to ask Paul, is this like superstitious or is it a hype? Like, why are these things existing?
It's both. I don't know. People like make them up on the spot. I think I always remember this one from Crown in 2014. It was these two vets. They were both veterans of Crown for a few years. They would literally, their third friend would come up to them. They're facing each other. She would turn on the television and then they would act out a telenovela in like 30 seconds. And it was so random. But I think it's just a good, consistent way to get to know the people and remind yourself that you have connections on the field. Because sometimes, you do get to see the people that you have a special connection with on like during your drill, but most of the time you don't. And so having that at the beginning of the show is a great way to just establish yourself and make sure that you're ready for the show.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jeremy, all guards have this?
I mean, most of them, everybody that I've ever worked with are like right in there with something. Mine one that I always introduce to a new color guard, especially, it's with a lot of new kids. I find this is really helpful. So we'll get all into a circle, right? And then all hold hands. And then like when you're a kid, you send the heartbeat like through and you squeeze the person next to you and it kind of goes all around, and they kind of send it all the way around back. That, yeah, like all of that sort of like feeling someone like else's pulse is just like, I think what brings everybody to feel like, yes, we are one team. We are one thing as we enter this floor, because that's what color guard is, right? It's about one team entering the floor. We all have these individual skills that we're responsible for as performers. But when you go in as one team, that's when it's a little, you want that feeling, you want that squeeze, you want that to know that the person next to you feels you, and I think that's what a lot of it is, a lot of it.
Okay, so Paul, when we said that immediately, you did something. So tell us what that was.
I mean, like, this is Karma Cap, this is Karma Clap. But those are just like things that we say in color guard anyways. But the squeezing hand things, that one is that's like universal color guard. Whenever you see the videos or any circuit videos, you'll see color guards right before they go onto the floor. They're in holding, right? They always hold hands. That's like the most common thing. And there's always variations. So some might do the squeeze, some have their talk. Sometimes it's just the instructor talking. Sometimes the captain says something. So it really depends on what the color guard has been doing for all those years. And it's just a matter of passing it down. Again, that can also change depending on who's the instructor and what works for that color guard, right? You may have a lot of extroverted people who want to say something, and then you might have a lot of like newer members, like a JV team that doesn't know what to say, and so you just have the leaders or the instructor say something instead. But that's usually the most common thing that happens, where everybody just hold hands and we just kind of connect in that way.
Okay, I like it. So we have a special video about this from Sacred Heart. Tell us about this, Jeremy.
So Maeve St. Ange is a really good friend of mine and reached out after they won the they won the Salem Regional. I guess it was this past weekend, and their first time winning. And so I asked her to give a little bit about what they do in their pre-show rituals, and this is what she had to say.
Thanks, Tim and Paul. My name is Maeve St. Ange, and I'm one of the color guard captains at the Sacred Heart University Winter Guard. We compete in the Independent Open class in WGI. This past weekend, we traveled to Salem, Massachusetts, and competed in the Salem Regional, and we got first place.
GI Salem Color Guard Regional Champion with a score of 73.70, Sacred Heart University Winter Guard.
This was the first time that the Sacred Heart University Winter Guard has ever gotten higher than third in the independent open class since we've been promoted in 2018, I believe. So it was a really big accomplishment for us. We're super happy with our score. We cannot wait to see what happens this season. We'll be attending the WGI Regional in Pennsylvania later in the season, and then WGI World Championships. A couple of our pre-show rituals are we like to circle up as a team. We like to share encouraging thoughts. And myself and the other captain, Emily, we like to do 3 deep breaths. So we'll all close our eyes. We'll go with inhale and exhale. We'll do that twice normally. And then on our third one, when we exhale, we all let out a big scream. And that helps us to calm our nerves, to get into the zone. And we actually start our show in a nice big circle. So it's really nice for us to just connect in that moment and really just focus in on the show and what we're going to do. I'm really excited to see what happens this season for us. And I cannot wait to go to WGI after not being there for 2 years. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Maeve lets out a big scream. And that's, you hear those all the time. You hear like just right before, you're like, oh my God, what's going on? You know, you're in your warm up clapping along and someone's over there getting ready to go on. And it's like, you know, it's like a focus thing.
Well, Paul, why the screaming?
I think you just let it out. I remember I was teaching a few color guards and they just like to, you'd say like, oh, like breathe in the good energy. And they're like, and then you just want to let out the drops. And then whenever you let it out, you like exhale violently. And depending on the kids, you know, they go crazy for it. And so they just like getting the good energy in and the bad energy out. So that's usually what it is.
One of the really amazing things, I saw one of the comments on Facebook was band people do rituals. And it's funny because I teach a high school, a local high school, Cherokee High School, and each section of the band and the color guard and the drum line have their own individual rituals that they all do as sections, and then they'll all come together as like one big major one. So the clarinets are really odd people. They have like a full routine, and they'll turn their clarinet upside down and they'll like start chanting, and they always pick some person to like stand in the middle. And I think it's kind of interesting because it always seems like that person was like on the struggle bus that day. Like that person was the one that just needed a little bit more encouragement. So the clarinets put that person in the middle and jump around them and then like just scream at their top of the lung, you know, and it's like it gets that person ready to go and pumped up. And it's bizarre, but it works for them. They have great shows.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the other thing I'm noticing is that a lot of this is about breathing and air. And Paul, breathing and air is really important in winter guard. So you take just a moment and say something about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the more mature aspects of color guard is getting to understand your breath and how you use your breath to move and to dance and to spin. Because sometimes, you know, when you're not breathing, you're not getting the oxygen to your muscles to really use them to your full potential. And so for me personally, I like to stay really calm. I know that when I was going to Crown, you know, it's a 13-minute show on the field and you're running around and doing all of this. It's important that you maintain what works for you, right? Mentally and physically. And breathing is really important. So for me, when I get on the field, or like when I'm getting ready to go on the field, I yawn to like slow down my heart rate and make sure that I'm calm before I go on. And then I go onto the field and I'm ready. So that I know that when the adrenaline comes in, I'm ready to handle it and that my breathing is controlled and I'm not freaking out. Because like we always like to tell the students, and this is for band students as well, but knowing that when you put on the uniform, you know, your technique shouldn't change. You should still breathe. You should still use your technique to play and to spin and to move. And keeping that consistent in a show setting is really, really important because the uniform shouldn't change any of that, right? And so I think it's really important that when you go into a show that you have something like that, breathing, yawning, chanting around with your friends, to just make sure that you have something consistent to bring you back into your space.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jeremy, you think this really works? Like it really does sort of help the center?
Yeah, I mean, having taught kids for a really long time, you see the kids that kind of don't want to like be fully involved in that sort of pre-show ritual or that sort of calming down, and that they're just sort of maybe always manic, or they just want to be there for their friends and they never really get that centered. And it's that centering that will produce the best performance you can have. I mean, I don't know anybody that would want to go into any job or anything that they're doing like in a bunch of chaos. Going onto a floor going onto a field is chaotic. There's people running around, there's parents, there's so much stuff. If you can't find that reason to like be focused and only focus on the people, my biggest thing when I'm teaching kids too is I like them to not have to worry about anything but themselves going onto the floor. Meaning I want to try and have as many parents or as many extra staff people or other color guards or whatever to help get on the floor so that you do stay calm. And I think all of the pre-show rituals and all of that is for that very reason. Show us as a team, get everybody calmed down, make sure everybody's like on the same mindset going into this performance. Because if you're not, you don't want to be thinking about what you had for lunch when you're, about to throw your 7. You just like, oh my God, is that going to taste good or what? Like, you just want to be only focused on that. I actually don't like when people say, when you put your uniform on, it changes. It's, Oh, you put on your super suit and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, you don't put on a super suit when you are a musician or you are a performer. You always have your super suit on. You should always be, at that like most powerful all the time, because people get stronger as you get stronger, right? Like you don't like level out. I think there's this mindset where it's like, oh, I'm giving it my all only when I perform. You give your all in rehearsal, your all expands, right? Like it just keeps getting more all. My tent gets bigger. None of us started off knowing how to do that, not knowing how to do this activity. It took some time. So allowing yourself to expand that all, is what this activity I think is all about.
I love it. Okay, so if you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, tell us what your pre-show rituals are. Put it in the comments and let us know, or contact us on all the different places you can contact us and let us know what your pre-show rituals are. I think this is really, really interesting. It's a fun discussion. So Paul and Jeremy, thanks for talking about that. Now we have a special clip from Jackie Brown from Spintronix. Jeremy, what is this?
Jackie is ready to give you another tip. She's been doing a lot of stuff with you. She's our education director at Guard Closet. So she's going to give you a secret of the Guard Closet.
All right. Well, let's see what Jackie has to say for a special tip to help us all out today.
Hey, Spinthusiasts, Jackie here, education director at guardcloset.com and director of Spintronix Color Guard. I'm coming at you today with a secret from the Guard Closet. Did you know that pre-show rituals are actually just as unique each season to your performers as the show itself is? Yeah, so you can make slight adjustments or even big changes to the pre-show ritual every year that will help you to be more inclusive of all of your team and get everybody hype for going out on the floor and doing their show. If you're ready to level up your instructor abilities using a proven format for teaching beginning color guard performers, come on over to Marching Arts Education and enroll today for my class on flag spinning for beginners and beginning instructors. I'll see you over there.
Yeah, absolutely. So that new course is fantastic. Flag spinning for beginners or beginning instructors. If there are a lot of people that are brand new and they need to know the very basics, and Jackie has a course that lays it out step by step by step. Jeremy, I love that she talked about changing it from year to year. Like that.
I did too. I was like, as soon as she said that, I was like, that's really good, Jackie. It does feel like that would be a good idea. One little move in your show, or like, maybe you're doing a Latin show and you just want to add in a hand at the end. That's Caballero's DCA core. They always have to have a hand at the end for their pre-show ritual. But exactly. But I think that's really cool. It just keys you into parts of your show too, I think.
Yeah, Paul, what do you think about that? Do you tend to have the same one for a guard year to year, or does it change with the show?
Yeah, I usually keep the same one, with the yawning and making sure that I'm calm. But also, it's really important that the color guard that you are a part of also changes it. So depending on who the color guard is, it could be more intense, a little bit calmer. But usually the people that you march with and the people that you do know usually carry their traditions from color guard to color guard. And so they try to keep that consistent within themselves. And also marching with the same people year after year, you try to keep the same ones that you have. And sometimes you can add new people into that if there are new members into your team. And so I think it's really fun how people live and grow with these rituals because they just kind of stay with them throughout their whole career. So I think that is really cool.
Very cool. And we have a comment from someone at Penn State. Thank you for watching. Says everyone puts their hands on their shoulder of the person in front of them in the tunnel going into pregame. Keeps the lines from falling apart because everyone is so tight together. It also connects everyone in that moment. And yeah, boy, trying to get onto the field at a college football game can be an adventure. So that's a really smart, practical one as well.
You kind of have to do that sometimes in any given hallway, in any given indoor show. Like, I mean, imagine now taking that entire thing and cramping it into, and the schools up in the Northeast, like I know you down in Florida, you got some big schools down there, but up here in the Northeast, we have little itty bitty schools. So the hallways are like not wider than a room. And you're like, so like, yeah, keep it moving, keep it going, keep it moving, keep it tight. And it's a focus thing, right? Like that's touching another person, consensual, is that, release into that person. It's putting your energy into that person. It's taking energy from that person. It's making your energy all one. And it's weird to even think to do that. Like I'm saying, if you literally think about sending the energy out through your hand and into that other person and absorbing the energy of the person behind you, it does do something to you mentally. I mean, don't you think? Like it is that. It is. I think it really does feel that. A hug is a hug, right? It gives you that energy. So that touch is like amazing.
Very cool. Well, listen, everybody, we're going to be having these conversations every week. We're going to be talking about percussion on some of these weeks as well. So make sure you check into that, of course, because there's a lot of indoor drumline stuff going on right now as well. Paul, you're going to be sharing different guards that you like and different tips as well. Paul, tell us a little bit about what we can expect.
I mean, just expect anything. Again, there's so many color guards out there. I always tell people the FFCC color guard circuit here in Central Florida has over 300 color guards. So there are so many color guards that we can talk about, not just here, but all over the US and around the world. And so I think it's great that we have this opportunity to highlight and see everybody in a different light and just talk about all the things that we may have in common, like these rituals or different things that we may do that set us apart. So I can't wait.
Absolutely. And listen, if you're watching this and you have a story about your color guard or your indoor drumline or your winter group, we want to hear about that. We would like to share that story. So contact us. Jeremy, what's the best way for them to do that?
You can email me at jeremy@guardcloset.com. You can DM us on Instagram or Facebook. We're certainly available. Tim is right. We love these stories. I'm excited to have Paul part of this and, get to meet the other people in the activity to like have conversations with, right? Like East Coast, West Coast, in the South, Texas. Rituals are different everywhere. How you learn your show is different everywhere. I think we're going to get, we're taking this all the way up through WGI. One of the universities that I've spoken to that we're going to be following this season is St. Ambrose University. This is their first year going to Dayton. I don't know if this is their first year in existence, but their first year going to Dayton. So we're following them throughout the whole season. When we do our WGI show, the week of WGI, so when you're traveling, you can listen to this or watch this on the bus or on the plane or whatever. They're going to have their story of the entire season, a little snippet of like rehearsals and competitions and how they got to Dayton and in a university setting, which is pretty interesting. And we have a lot of other stories that we're working on to like make this a really fun and interesting show.
Absolutely. And so if you're going to be somebody that's watching, you're at a live performance at a regional, you're watching at home and you want to share your comments about some groups that you think are really amazing, contact us as well, because we're looking for some correspondence to talk with us on this show. So Jeremy and Paul, this was a lot of fun. Paul, final thoughts from you before we go?
I mean, again, whatever it is, keep it consistent, know what works for you, and just make sure that you're ready to perform and get out on the field. It starts before warm-up. It starts before warm-up, and then it goes all the way onto the floor. Leave it all on the floor, and you should be consistent and ready to perform.
Fantastic advice. Jeremy, final thoughts from you.
I'm excited to see where this whole series goes this year, this season. I'm excited that we're having a season, and I hope to see everybody at WGI. And yeah, please hit us up. We're excited to talk to a bunch of people. I know Leander Mama on Instagram is ready for next week. She's got her groups picked that she wants to talk about. So we're going to be excited to talk to her next week.
As well as we're going to be talking to Michael James, who's been traveling around the country in all kinds of crazy weather, helping to create guard shows and teaching lots of really great groups. And we all know him as a wonderful movement and creative mind. So looking forward to talking to Michael as well. So Jeremy and Paul, this was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for being here to talk. Everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, share it with some friends. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Marching Arts Education and Guard Closet present Marching Arts Now.